Our dignity as human beings surpasses all the rest of creation. You have a dignity exceeding all creation, precisely because you are created with the capacity for personal union with God. Saint Thérèse of Lisieux lived this reality of union with God as a realistic expectation in her daily life, and you can too. She wanted this union so badly that she hoped to die of love. From her earliest childhood, she was exposed to and exhorted to live all of her life, even the smallest details, out of the conviction that she was made for total union with God. Therese was immersed in the life of a devout Catholic family with two saintly parents, Louis and Zélie Martin, who were both keenly aware of this desire for union with God. Each of them had aspired to enter the religious life, but they married instead. Initially, they wished to live a celibate marriage, abstaining from having children for the sake of love of God, until they were convinced by a loving pastor actually to have children for the sake of offering them to God instead. This is exactly what they did. Awe-inspiring in their family atmosphere of intense devotion, the Martin family bore the beautiful fruit of 5 consecrated religious vocations. Therese, being the youngest sibling, benefited from the fervor, wisdom, and love of her older sisters. She was adored and was loved most intimately by her father Louis, especially after her mother passed when Therese was only 4 years old. Therese was immersed in the love of the Trinity through her immersion in her family's love. It was nearly unbearable for her to be separated from her sisters because of the strength of this love. Her oldest sister Pauline was the one who prepared her for her first Holy Communion at age 11, which was a definitive moment in Therese's spiritual life. When describing her experience of First Communion and of Jesus in the Eucharist, she said, "It was a fusion. They were no longer two." After this, she flew along the path to sanctity, discovering in her heart of hearts a call to fly away to the desert of Carmel, where 2 of her sisters preceded her entry and another followed later. She chose to go there not because her sisters were there, but because she truly wished to enter for love of Jesus alone. After a dramatic series of events and desperate efforts on Therese's part, and the part of her father and all the Carmelite nuns of the Lisieux Carmel, going so far as to beg the Pope face to face in Rome, Therese, after much inner turmoil and effort, was permitted to enter the Discalced Carmelite nuns in Lisieux at the age of 15. She wasted no time upon entering and pouring herself out in love for Jesus alone. Without much outside direction, through prayer and discernment, Jesus faithfully guided her to growth in virtue, and she soared to the very heights of sanctity in a few short years. Her path materialized in the form of her little way, the way that is all confidence and love. This little way led her to burn with intense desire to die a martyrdom of love, through offering all the most insignificant seeming, but nevertheless real sacrifices of each day and hour for love of Jesus alone. At age 24, God accepted her self-offering, and after a year of the onset and painful suffering of tuberculosis, and eventually losing the ability to breathe, and also experiencing an extreme darkness of faith and doubt about the very existence of heaven which she so longed for, she truly received her hope, and she died a death of love. In her final moments, after much suffering, her face and body were inundated with joy, being taken up in the arms of love himself, Jesus Christ. And she exclaimed, "My God, I love you," and joined her spouse forever in the union she longed for so much. Now, having become doctor of the church and the patron saint of missionaries, she showers down roses from heaven, helping millions of souls along their own little journeys to God. Let us now turn to her and entrust ourselves to her as our guide, showing us how to hope for and decide for ourselves to follow the little way of confidence and love, and striving ourselves not to miss any opportunities to live for the love of God alone. With Therese's help, she will lead us to the sweetness of a death like hers, with no reason to fear, because if we imitate her life and are constantly offering little sacrifices of love, we too will die of love for Jesus alone and be entirely united to him forever, just like Therese was.